So after compression stroke, what is there? When the piston is at TDC, the fuel is going to be injected, and because the air already had some seal, the rate of reaction, that means the mixing rate, is going to be at high proportions, and at the same time the chemical reaction is also, that means the chemical delay is going to be done within short period of time, so that ignition delay period is going to reduce, right? So whenever the ignition delay period is going to reduce, there may be no much knocking, as we already seen when we are going to discuss, when we have discussed the knocking. So whatever the combustion products are developed here, those are going to rush throughout the throat here. This is the throat, and whenever the combusted mixture is there, that combusted mixture and products are going to rush throughout this throat. And what is going to happen here, whatever the air fuel mixture is there, this turbulence, whatever the turbulence is there within the air fuel mixture, which is already combusted or combustion gases are there, those are going to rush through the throat and helps the whole air fuel mixture which is there within the main cylinder. Okay, and it will help the whole unburned mixture to burn easily. So that is how the combustion is going to be done here. And here the main disadvantage is because of having more space here, the pressure is not going to, pressure increased is not that much appreciable, where it can reach its self ignition temperature easily. So that's why we are going to use glow plug. And of course other advantages also there, we can use low injection pressures for the fuel to be injected. That is what Ricardo's fuel chamber, where the combustion is going to take place in two chambers. Some of the combustion, and whenever the during compression stroke, 50% of air is going to be accumulated into this combustion space, second combustion space, from the main cylinder to the second cylinder or second combustion chamber. Okay, or cylinder head, which is the space available there within the second cylinder head. 50% of air is going to be accumulated from here to here. Okay, so that is what this type of fill chamber, where it prevent knocking as well as give high engine performance. Next, coming to pre-combustion chamber. Similarly, as like in here, as like the swivel chamber, in pre-combustion chamber also, during compression stroke only, some of the air is going to be accumulated into this combustion chamber through some orifice. There will be orifice. Here we have throat here, but here we have orifices. Okay, by having those orifices, it can to some extent during compression stroke, to some extent here the difference between throat and orifice means, here throat, whatever the air is available here with high pressure, that is going to be accumulated but into this space. But here this orifice can restrict some of the pressure. For suppose is this orifice is going to open when the pressure, when the air pressure is going to be around at certain point. For suppose this orifice is going to open whenever the air pressure is going to be around some, let us assume that it is going to open at 40 bar. Until the air pressure reaches 40 bar, this air orifice is not going to allow any air into this pre-chamber. That is what the difference between throat and orifice. Okay, so whenever the air reaches its particular value of pressure, then only this orifice is going to be opened, and then the orifice is going to be allow air into the pre-combustion chamber, right? So that's why during compression stroke, there is no much transfer of air. That means there is no much travel of air from the compression, that means from main cylinder to the pre-chamber. But when the piston is at top dead center, it is going to reach its high combustion, high pressure. So whenever it is going to reach its high pressure, okay, so this orifice is going to open because of such high pressures, and the whole air is going to be accumulated into the pre-chamber at that time. Okay, so because of having this shape, the whatever the air is going to be rushed into this is going to have some swirl here, right? So because of that, having at the same time, the fuel is going to be injected through this nozzle. So whenever this air is going to be in this direction and nozzle is going to inject the fuel, in this direction. So because of that also, during combustion process, that means at the same time the swirl as well as the fuel is going to be injected. That means as soon as these two are going to be in contact, at the same time the combustion is going to start here. Why? Because it is almost at high pressure, and fuel is also at some pressure it is going to inject. So here we can reduce the ignition delay period to a very much short extent. Okay, we can reduce that ignition delay period to majorly. That means ignition delay period is very short here. Why? Because the pressure is high here, as well as the injection is also going to high fuel is also going to be injected with high pressure, and whenever they are going to mix at that instantaneously, there may be combustion is going to happen. So that's why the swirl is going to be there at the time of combustion. That's why we are going to call it this as pre-combustion chamber. The swirl is going to be provided during the combustion process here. Okay, that's why we are going to call this as combustion chamber, and all the remaining is same. Okay, whenever the piston is at top dead center, this orifice opens and the air at high pressure is going to reach the pre-combustion chamber. At the same time, the fuel is going to be injected through this nozzle, and because of a swirl within the air, why? Because it has some truncated shape. Because of having some swirl is going to be provided within the air, and nozzle is also having some pressure, and this is, air swirl is going to combust when the fuel is going to be accumulated here, and whole the combustion process are going to reach the main cylinder, where 80% of energy is going to be released here only. Okay, 80% of energy. Of course, the whole combustion process is going to be there, but it is going just an initiation to have swirl within the main chamber. Okay, whenever the high combustion with high turbulence, the air combustion, the combusted mixture is going to reach it. The air fuel mixture, whatever they here, is going to reach its self ignition temperature very easily. Why? Because here with some turbulence, the combustion gases are going to attack this air fuel mixture, which leads to increase, or which leads to auto ignition temperature, reach its auto ignition temperature within a short period of time. So majorly whole combustion, 80% of combustion is going to happen here only, but the initiation is going to be from the pre-chamber. Okay, that's it. And 80% of heat release is also going to be during this within this main cylinder only. Okay, that is what combustion chamber. And next, coming to Lenovo Aircell combustion chamber. Here, what is the main difference here? Here we are going to have swirl both during compression as well as combustion, right? Here the combustion space is divided into two main parts here. This is the combustion chamber, which there is no much space available here. So this is what the combustion chamber will look like. This is how the combustion chamber will look like. To have more turbulence, they have provided this shape of design within the air. Okay, so this is the combustion main space, combustion chamber space. Here the fuel injector is somewhat horizontal, and this is another combustion chamber. I already said here we are going to divide the combustion space into two or more parts. See here, this is one combustion chamber where it is going to be in a main cylinder. This is the main cylinder here, and this is the two energy cell. Okay, two-part energy cell. Here the combustion space is divided into almost three parts. This is one space, this is one space, and this is one space, but majorly two only. This is one and this is two. Energy cell as one combustion chamber space, and this is one combustion chamber space which is in main cylinder, and this is going to be in the adjacent cylinder head, right? So first of all, during compression process, there is going to be swirl. Why there is going to be swirl? Because of having such combustion shape, the combustion chamber shape is going to be like this. Because of having this shape, here the air is going to be in swirl. Whatever the air is going to be under compression, okay, because of having such shape, it is going to create some swirl during the compression stroke only. Okay, so that's why we are going to have some swirl during the compression stroke. And whenever it has reached it, okay, here also we have orifice here where energy cell is going to be there. Here the combustion is going to happen. The initiation of combustion is going to be within the combustion main cylinder only, unlike the other two previous cases. In previous two cases, what happened here, the combustion is going to happen with whatever the extra chamber provided. In that chamber, the initiate combustion has initiated, but unlike there, here the combustion is going to be initiated at the time of that means within the combustion main cylinder only, not here. And until it reaches some high pressures, until it reaches some high pressure, that means until there is combustion, the whole air fuel mixture is going to be here only. Okay, whenever the air is going to reach its high pressure, that means during when the piston is going to reach its top dead center, the air is going to be under high pressure, and this orifice is going to be closed. I already said this. This is there will be orifice which can restrict the passage of air to travel through this energy cell. Whenever it reaches certain pressure, then only this orifice is going to open, and it is going to allow some air fuel mixture here. Okay, so that is one case. During combustion process, this energy cell is going to have some air fuel mixture, but it is not going to initiate the combustion here, as like the previous two types. Here within the main cylinder only, air is going to achieve some high pressure, and whenever the piston is at top dead center, near to top dead center, the fuel is going to be injected, and because of that injection and some swirl within the air, there are more chances of mixing of air and fuel, and the chemical reaction is also going to be good. So whenever the combustion is going to be initiated, it has to raise its pressure to a much higher extent. Okay, so to reach that high pressure, to reach that high peak pressure, so whenever certain pressure after combustion, these combustion gases, when it is going to achieve some high pressures, then this orifice is going to open, and this whole some of the combustion is going to be released into it. Okay, so these combustion gases are going to flow first from here to here into the energy cell. So because of having this shape, some high turbulence is going to be created here. Because of this space, the turbulence when compared to here is going to be high here. Okay, so because of having such high turbulence created here, again these gases, whatever the combustion gases are there, those are going to here, of course there is some air is going to be there, and fuel is also going to be there, this air fuel mixture, but the turbulence is which is created here is going to be very much high when compared to this. So some extra turbulence is going to be created here by having this energy cell, and whatever the combustion gases are there, with high turbulence, these combustion gases are going to come again into this main cylinder. Okay, so that's why the main high peak pressures can be achieved, and whenever we need very high power requirement, or whenever we need such high speeds, then we will go for this type of air cell combustion chamber. Okay, so that is what this type of air cell combustion chamber. Unlike the previous cases, the combustion is initiated within the main cylinder only. Once the combustion is initiated, the combustion products are going to interact with the air fuel mixture which are there within the energy cell, and because of this, the more high turbulence, much more high turbulence is going to be created, and that much more high turbulence is going to help the combustion to take place within very short period of time, where it can prevent knocking also. Why? Because the combustion is going to complete within a short span of time only, where ignition delay period is also less here. So that's why for high speed engines and high power requirement, we will use this type of combustion chamber. Okay, so these are divided combustion chambers or indirect injection chambers. Why we are going to call that as indirect injection chambers? Why? Because we are not going to directly inject the fuel into the main cylinder. We are indirectly injecting the fuel into the main cylinder in two cases, but here we are going to inject fuel directly into the combustion chamber, but we are using another device. We are using another energy cell to increase the rate of reaction. Okay, so to create turbulence, we are going to use mainly briefly and to a most important point, to create much turbulence or air swirl or swish, we are going to provide another combustion chamber. That is what divided combustion chamber. And by using this, there are a lot of advantages. We can use very low injection pressures. Okay, with the low injection pressure, since it is going to have some swirl in the air, much higher injection pressures are not required. So the design or complexity in design is going to be reduced somewhat. So cost is also, when it compared to nozzle, is going to reduce, and by providing another extra chamber, the it is going to increase, but the cost is going to increase, but the performance is going to be very good. Okay, we can prevent knocking here to the utmost to the utmost extent. We can prevent knocking. And but what is the disadvantage here? Here the disadvantage is, the whatever the pressure rise is there, that is not going to be sufficient, so we need to use some glowplex. Okay, as like energy cell, and which we have used the glowplex, that is one disadvantage. We need to add some extra component to that design, where we need to increase the pressure of air. Okay, of course the fuel injection pressures can be low, and we can use multi jets also. Here we can use multi jets, and in this pre-combustion chamber, it can be useful in whether it may be petrol or diesel engine. We can use this type of pre-combustion chamber in the petrol engines also. Okay, that much complex, that is flexibility is there. That much flexibility is there in case of pre-combustion chamber. Okay, that is what advantages and disadvantages regarding to indirect injection chambers or divided combustion chambers. Okay, next, coming to fuel requirements and fuel rating. Here coming to fuel requirements and fuel rating, as I already discussed, C10 number is the main thing which we are going to rate the fuel here. That means diesel fuel is going to be depend upon the C10 rating. Okay, so such much that means C10 number is going to prevent knocking. The higher the C10 number, the higher the knock prevention. Okay, here the C10 number for diesel is going to be around 45 to 65. When it is going to be like this, then it can to the maximum extent possible, it can prevent knocking. Okay, for low quality fuels, the C10 number is going to be around 30 to 40. Okay, low quality fuels. For high quality fuels, the C10 number is going to be around 45 to 65. Okay, a higher C10 number means the time between when the fuel is injected into the combustion chamber and the fuel ignites is minimized. That means that ignition delay period is going to be minimized. That is what actually the C10 number means. Okay, if that time is going to be minimized, means nothing but ignition delay period is going to be short. So whenever the ignition delay period is short, the knocking is not going to be there. We can prevent knocking. When we have knocking, when the ignition delay period is too long or long. So we can minimize the ignition delay period by having highest quality C10 rating. Okay, that is what this means. The fuel has the ability to ignite more easily and readily due to compression. That means it can achieve its auto ignition temperature very easily, where it can neglect knocking. Is done considering the ignition of C10. C10 number can be increased by adding additives, as like in octane rating. To improve octane rating, there are some additives. Similarly, when it comes to C10 number, we can also add additives to improve the C10 rating, such as ethyl hexyl nitrate. Okay, this is one additive which we can improve the C10 rating for the diesel fuel. Okay, so these additives are going to be different in case of SI and CI engines. Okay, to improve octane rating, there will be another additive, but to improve C10 rating, there will be another additive. Okay, these additives are not same. These are going to be different in case of octane and C10 rating improvement. And C10 number decreases in the following order. That means for N-alkanes, the highest C10 rating is going to be there. For cycloalkanes, somewhat less, and for alkenes, somewhat less, and branched alkenes, somewhat less, and for aromatics, it is going to be very less. The C10 rating is going to be very less, and it also depends upon the stability of bonds only. If there are no double bonds, then we are going to achieve unstable. That means if there are double bonds, then the instability is going to come into act, right? So if we have stable bonds, there is no much instability, and we can improve the C10 rating. So we need to maintain much stability in between the bonds. Carbon and hydrogen bonds are there. In between them, there should be much stability. Okay. Otherwise, if there is no stability, then it can lead to poor quality fuel. That means because of lacking in stability, those are not going to reach the requirements. Okay, so that is what fuel requirements and fuel rating. So with this, we have completed the combustion topic, and from next class onwards, we are going to discuss testing and performance within the second unit only.